What is up, bass fishing freaks? Luke Reeser here from Too Fat to Hunt Outdoors. So I've told you lately that I haven't been fishing much because we've got so much water. Well, this is why. Yeah, that's 2 ballparks over there. Our town is flooded. That's not supposed to be there. I can't really get any closer, but yeah, that's our bridge right there going across to the other side of town, and she's closed. She is shut right down. They won't let you through any closer. So, since everything's flooded and a mess and chocolate milk freaking everywhere, we'll do a different kind of video today. So if you want to follow me in the shop here, let's dig through some tackle. We'll spend the next couple minutes talking about my favorite fall baits, digging through my tackle box. Stay tuned, folks. Launch hunting starts now. The old war eagle sitting on her post. Jesus, looks like some maniac. Been going through all my stuff. Magnets are out. Let's get some of this put away and dig out some fall tackle. Okay, so if I had to take all these baits and crunch them down and only pick 5 baits to fish in the fall, that's what I'm going to show you today. My top 5 favorite baits to throw in the fall. And I'm not saying these are the only baits to throw in the fall. I'm not saying they're 100% the best baits to throw in the fall, but they're my 5 favorite baits to throw in the fall. But before I get into them, let's talk about fall fishing. What patterns do you look for when you're fishing in the fall? When you're bass fishing in the fall? What are the bass doing in the fall? They're eating up. They're trying to get fat and full because they know winter's coming. And they're gonna, food is scarce in the winter and they're gonna be lethargic. So they're feeding up and they're looking for everything they can eat, but mainly they're focusing on shad because in the fall time, everybody knows the shad start to die and the bass will key in on that and they will feed on shad heavily. I'm not saying they won't eat crayfish, and you can still catch them flipping a jig for crayfish or throwing a crayfish colored crankbait, whatever. But if you wanna really catch a lot of bass and get on big schools of bass, imitate shad and you'll have success. So, which leads me to my very favorite bait in the fall time. Number 1, the spinnerbait. Spinnerbait is one of my favorite baits to throw. I'll throw it all year long, but in the fall time, if I had to pick one bait to throw in the fall, I would just throw this. 1 rod, 1 spinnerbait, 5 rods with 5 different spinnerbaits tied on. I don't care. I'm gonna throw a freaking spinnerbait. So you're wondering what spinnerbait are we gonna throw, Luke? Are we gonna throw a chartreuse spinnerbait? Are we gonna throw a white spinnerbait? Are we gonna throw a spinnerbait with double willow blades? Are we gonna throw a spinnerbait with double Colorado blades? Are we gonna throw alternate colored blades, or we're gonna add a trailer? Are we gonna throw a spinnerbait with 1 blade? What do? It's very simple. Tie one on and frickin' throw it. Just get out there and see what they want. Take a bunch of spinnerbaits. There's 5 here. These are 5 of the best spinnerbaits on the market. Go out and just start throwing them. Yeah, so these are all great spinnerbaits. This is a Strike King. This is a double Colorado blade. This is a Strike King. It's a double Colorado blade. I got a big trailer tied on there. This is a Booyah. This is probably my favorite spinnerbait to throw if I could get it in solid gold blades, both gold blades, chartreuse, 1/2 ounce. This is a Hutch tackle spinnerbait. I like this one in the spring because it's slick and sleek. It's small profile, and in the spring sometimes they like that smaller profile. This is one of my other favorites to throw. This is a War Eagle. You can see I've caught a ton of fish on it. The skirt is falling apart and it's getting pretty wore out. But it's double bronze blades or copper blades. But give me a War Eagle and with 2 gold blades and a chartreuse skirt in 1/2 ounce, and I will go to work. But spinnerbait is one of the best baits to throw in the fall. Imitates shad very well. And like this time of year, so like next week when you're watching my fishing videos, you'll probably be seeing me throw a spinnerbait a lot because the water is going to be muddy and high. And that's a great bait for muddy and high water conditions. So my favorite bait to throw in the fall, spinnerbait. All right, number 2, my second favorite bait to throw in the fall is a buzzbait. So in the fall, you can still catch fish on top water. Even as the temperature starts to fall, they will still hit top water. And a lot of guys maybe will choose a spook or a popper. Myself, my confidence is right here in a buzzbait. And it's in these 2 brands right here. This is a War Eagle. This is a black War Eagle with a gold blade. This is my favorite, probably one of my favorite baits to throw in the entire world. And especially late spring into summer, early summer, I will destroy fish on this bait. And even through the fall, I will always have one tied on because it works so great. Cavatron, Magastrike Cavatron here is my other favorite buzzbait, probably my second favorite. They each have their place. So to me, and I've explained this before in other videos, you know it, this one here has a better sound to it. This one casts better and comes through cover better. So, you know, between the 2, they're my favorite. You can see they're all pretty beat up because I use them a ton. And this is probably my favorite color, black and gold. But especially in the fall, if you can get some white and gold imitate shad very well. They also make like gizzard shad colored skirts and stuff, but I don't know. To me, when you're burning across, it doesn't really matter. Give me white. White and black is all I need. Great imitator of a dying shad. Destroy them in the fall. So number 2, the buzzbait. All right, rolling on into number 3. My number 3 favorite lure to use during the fall is probably going to be a swim jig. Swim jigs are great. They come through cover great. If you're fishing the Mississippi River and you've never fished a swim jig, you're probably not catching fish. On the river, there's tons of weeds, moss, everything, and these are sometimes the only bait you can throw subsurface to catch fish. Sometimes. But the cool thing about a swim jig is you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. As you can see here, I got a grub tail tied on, which is probably my go-to trailer for a swim jig. You can also put on little swim baits. So like here I got a black and blue with a little shad colored Kitech. Got a bigger Kitech on this one. Got a grub tail on this one that's about ready to fall off. Here's some of my other favorite trailers. I like the Caffeine Shad by Strike King. It's a good swim jig trailer. Kalen's Scrub Tail. Those work really good. It was me and my brother-in-law Mike who actually made these 3 swim jigs. This is a lethal weapon or something. I don't remember what brand that is, but Mike made these 3. Anyways, me and Mike got on a bite one time where you had to have this trailer. I threw this, every other trailer and couldn't get a bite, and he kept catching them, so I put one of these on and I started catching them. So just sometimes a simple thing is just switching up your trailer will help you catch fish. Swim jig is a definite fish catcher, and especially in the fall when they're feeding on shad because they imitate shad very well. Bring them through the lily pads, over the lily pads, let them drop, throw them around wood, throw them around the rocks. You can do anything you want with them. And you can actually flip them like a jig too. I mean, they don't have the best, this head is designed to come through cover. But they'll still sink just like any other jig. And they'll fall down. They probably won't stand up as much, but you hop them. If you put a Christy craw or something, some type of rage craw in there. So if you only have one jig, throw a swim jig. That way you can swim it or flip it if you don't have the option. Say you're co-angler or something and you don't have enough rods, enough space in the boat to designate one rod to just a flipping jig. Just throw a swim jig. Put a craw trailer on it. Swim it, flip it, pitch it, whatever. Number 3, swim jig. All right, so number 4, I'm going to kind of tie 2 together because I couldn't make up my mind. I'm just going to go generally with a crankbait. So with a crankbait, I've got 3 different options here. I got a medium diving crankbait. This is a Bandit 200, and this is in jet black. I love this crankbait. My 2 favorite fall medium diving crankbaits are jet black and straight white. Plain and simple. Sound familiar? My Buzzbaits? Black, white. But anyways, I love this crankbait. It's got great action. It dives 6 to 8 feet, which is perfect for most normal water conditions on the river. Also, a square bill crankbait, just a little different. Just the bill square, obviously, if you know what I'm talking about, if you fish square bills. So this is in river minnow, I think it's called something. I don't know. It's a great color. This is a KVD 1.5, which is a fish catching animal. So square bill and a lipless. I know not a lot of difference here. Here there is a lot of difference, but this is the top 5 baits, right? Not the top 6. So generally a crankbait. In the lipless category, my 2 favorites right here, 2 favorite color-wise. This is a Booyah 1-knocker. Here's the difference there between the normal. So Booyah 1-knocker, probably my favorite lipless to throw. This is in their version of Rayburn Red, knockoff of the original Excalibur, which are like $40 a piece on eBay. Anyways, this is a great crankbait, and red is great in the spring and in the fall. Great fish catcher. My other favorite color is Foxy Mama, or like Strike King calls it, sexy shad, chrome sexy shad. And this is actually a Strike King red eye shad, which is another great lipless crankbait. But burn these, fish them slow. I like fishing them in like 4 to 6 feet of water over top of grass. You will load the freaking boat if you can find conditions like that and you throw either one of these, I promise you. In the fall time. Great way to catch fish. Lipless crankbait, or any crankbait. All of them, all 4 of them. Number 4, 4 crankbaits, number 4, get it? And last but not least, number 5, the jerkbait. These are 3 of my favorite jerkbaits. This is for deeper water, this is the Rapala slow sinking deep diving jerkbait. Shadow Wrap Deep 11, I think this is, yeah. And this color here is called Haymaker. This is probably one of my favorite colors to throw between this and perch. They just get bit. Incredible action. They suspend and then they slowly start to sink. Throw them on a little heavier line and they'll suspend a lot better. So like I throw them on 12-pound line and they suspend about perfect. Drop down to 10-pound line and they sink pretty decent. So that's that one. This is the new Rapala Ripstop. And this is just a regular diving 4 to 6 or whatever. Pretty cool. It really stops. When you stop, it stops. So it doesn't come straight back. Like you stop it like this, it's going to stay like this. It's pretty cool. It's different, has a different action. I've done all right with it. I'll link a video down in the description below where I caught some bass on this one here this year. Pretty good jerkbait. And of course, you can't forget the lead mine lunker. This is a KO blank of the Mega Bass 110 that Brandon from Lead Mine Lunkers painted up in his custom IU color. That is freaking delicious. Caught some decent bass on this too this year. Me and Wells out at the lake. I'll link that video down below too. Go check that one out too. So these are probably my 3 favorite jerkbaits that I have, but jerkbaits are great in the fall when the water starts cooling down. I mean, what demonstrates a shad any better than a jerkbait, really? A dying shad at that. You can get it to sit right in front of their face, and they have no choice but to eat it. So, number 5, the jerkbait. Well, that's a wrap, folks. That's my top 5 fall bass fishing baits. I promise you I'm gonna get out fishing next week. It's killing me, freaking killing me. I really haven't been out fishing much since our last tournament, since our classic, and that was almost 2 weeks ago. It's been brutal. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Hell or high water, I don't care. I'm out there and I'm gonna do some flipping, some spinner baiting, whatever. We're gonna catch some freaking bass. And pretty soon you'll be seeing me with my Carhartts on, and I'll be walleye fishing, and then I'll be walking around in the ice. So that ain't far away. Plus, we're gonna grind out as much bass fishing as we can until there's so much ice on the water that the 2 Fat Tonadors Pimp and Crestliner can't get through it. I will plow through ice. You've seen it last year, you'll see it again. Until then, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now. Hit that bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. Destroy that thumbs up button. Luke Reeser signing off. Always remember, you're never too fat to fish.